Guys, Lord Zone here, and today we are going to be sorting Game of Thrones characters into Hogwarts houses. So before we start, we're just going to go over the Hogwarts houses and their traits. So Gryffindor, their traits are courage, chivalry, and daring. Ravenclaw is intelligence, wit, and creativity. Hufflepuff is hard work, loyalty, and fair play. And Slytherin is ambition, cunning, and self-preservation. I feel like there will be a lot of Slytherins. So as you can see, we have Gryffindor at the top, then Ravenclaw, Hufflepuff, Slytherin, and then Squib. A squib is someone in Harry Potter who has magic parents, but isn't magic themselves. So like Mr. Filch, who is actually Walder Frey, he's a squib. So for the people who I just can't really sort, I'll just throw in there. Alright, I guess first off is Euron Greyjoy, King of the Iron Islands. I am going to be basing this off of the show instead of the books because Euron is quite different in the books and the show, as are many other characters. So Euron is definitely Slytherin. He's very ambitious and will do whatever it takes to get what he wants. He doesn't really care much about anyone else but himself, so Euron's going in Slytherin. Rickon Stark. He's pretty irrelevant, which is weird considering he's a Stark. We don't really know. He's not ambitious, I don't think. He's not that smart, as far as we know. He could have just zigzagged when Ramsay was firing arrows at him, but instead he just ran in a straight line like an idiot. So we can cross out Slytherin, we can cross out Ravenclaw. I'd say he's pretty brave, actually. You know, he had to go through so much at such a young age. He didn't want to leave Bran, he wanted to stay with him and protect him, so I guess we can put Rickon in Gryffindor. Now we have Yara Greyjoy. Yeah, she is definitely Gryffindor as well. She was willing to take her men and go to the Dreadfort, which is quite scary for most, but not for her, just to rescue her brother, who she had no real obligation to rescue him. I mean, he didn't listen to her when she warned him that he should leave Winterfell, but she went back and tried to save him anyways. Now we have Ollie, one of the more hated characters. I'll put Ollie in Gryffindor. I feel like killing the Lord Commander of the Night's Watch is quite a daring and brave thing to do, regardless if it was the right decision to make. Next up we have Benjen Stark. Yeah, he's going in Gryffindor as well. I mean, first Ranger has to go beyond the wall and fight wildlings and White Walkers in freezing cold temperatures, so yeah. Grey Worm, he is also going in Gryffindor. There'll be a lot of Gryffindors, and I'm sure there'll be a lot of Slytherins. Ramsay is definitely a Slytherin. This guy just wants to prove himself to his father and has no regard for the well-being of anyone else besides himself, and likes inflicting pain on others, so he'll be in Slytherin. Professor Slughorn. Or I forget, this guy was a maester at the Citadel. I forget what his name was, but he plays Professor Slughorn in Harry Potter. And he was actually in Slytherin in the show, and in the movies, but since he's a maester, I'll throw him in Ravenclaw, because that's pretty much their entire profession, is being knowledgeable. Missandei. I'll put Missandei in Hufflepuff. You know, she's very loyal to Daenerys, she's very kind, and yeah, I just feel like she fits Hufflepuff the best. Now we have Ghost. I don't know if I should do animals, but frick it, we ball. I'll put Ghost in Gryffindor because wolves are brave, I guess. So. Maester Aemon. He'll go in Ravenclaw. Once again, the maester, probably every maester will go in Ravenclaw. Lyanna Mormont is definitely going to be in Gryffindor. I mean, to lead people at such a young age is very impressive, and she wasn't scared to go to war at all. Cersei Lannister, Slytherin. Yeah, very cunning, very ambitious. Not very smart, but that's kind of besides the point. Jeor Mormont, Gryffindor. He was the Lord Commander of the Night's Watch, and I feel like you have to be very brave to do that. The Sand Snakes will be in. I guess they'll go in Slytherin. They're very cunning, so that puts them in Slytherin. Edmure Tully. He's not very smart. I don't know if he's that brave. I don't know if I want to put him in. I don't know if I want to make him a squib. I'll put him in. I'll put him in Hufflepuff, actually. You know, he's loyal to his nephew Rob. Might not always make the smartest decisions, but he is loyal. And fair, I guess. Jojen Reed. He will be going in Gryffindor. And I'll put his sister Mira there with him because they both risked their lives. Jojen willingly gave his life so Bran could get to the Three-Eyed Raven and help save the world. Is this Drogon? Or is this... this is probably Drogon. Gryffindor, he's a dragon. Barristan Selmy. Oh, I might actually... It's either Gryffindor or Hufflepuff. Oh. The only reason why I might put him in Hufflepuff instead of Gryffindor is he was so loyal, like, that it led him to do kind of the cowardly thing. Like, he didn't ever stand up for King Aerys's wife when he was abusing her. He never did anything against the king. He was just very dutiful and loyal, despite serving corrupt kings. But yet again, he did end up leaving Joffrey after he was stripped from the King's Guard. And he did a lot of brave things in his lifetime, so I'll put him in Gryffindor. Now we have the Mountain. Oh, yeah, not very fair play, or loyal, or kind. Not going in Hufflepuff. Not very smart either, not Ravenclaw. Yeah, I guess he's pretty brave. He's not that ambitious, so kind of just takes the orders from the Lannisters. He'll go in Gryffindor. He's not scared of anyone. Oh, then we have Daenerys. She will go in Slytherin because she is very ambitious and wants to reclaim her father's throne, which she believes rightfully belongs to hers. Tyrion can go in like any of these, but I'll put him in Ravenclaw. I just feel like he isn't quite ambitious enough for me to put him in Slytherin. Like at the start of Game of Thrones, he kind of was just a drunk who liked to go to brothels. But he was always very smart and a voracious reader, so I'll put him in Ravenclaw. Now we have Mord. Yeah, he's going in Squib. I'm sorry. Now we have Sansa. I feel like Sansa towards the end of the series kind of became a Slytherin. I feel like she wanted power. She wanted to be the queen. So I guess I'll put her in Slytherin. Why not? And she did. She succeeded. Uh, Carl Tanner of Gin Alley, the legend. Yeah, he'll go in Slytherin. Or actually, I'll put him in Gryffindor. Gryffindor isn't always like heroism. It's sometimes just doing like daring things regardless of their morality can get you into Gryffindor. And he did some incredibly brave and daring things, and he wasn't scared of anyone. He fought Jon Snow. He was beating Jon Snow. Now, if it wasn't for one of Craster's wives killing him from behind, he probably would have won. Beric Dondarrion. Gryffindor. I mean, this guy got killed multiple times and still came back and kept fighting. I think this is Shaggy Dog, Reckon's wolf. He'll go in Gryffindor. Randall Tarley. I don't think he's very smart. He's not very kind. I don't think he's too ambitious, but he's brave because he's a great military commander. He'll go in Gryffindor. Edison Tollett. Dolores Ed. He's not ambitious. He's pretty loyal, actually. And he's an honorable man. You know what? I'll put him in Hufflepuff. Why not? There's gonna be too many Gryffindors anyway. Sir Davos Seaworth. This is tricky. I want to put him in Ravenclaw, but the only problem with that is he didn't know how to read. But he did learn. He did learn how to read. Yeah, so I'll put him in Ravenclaw. He's very witty and creative. This dude, I forget what his name is, but he's a complete toolbox. He'll be a Slytherin. Actually, no, he's going in Squib. We don't know enough about this guy. I think his name was like Prendel Rogazen or something weird like that. I don't know. No, another direwolf. I think this is Lady. No, we don't see like anything about Lady. She died like in one of the first episodes, so she'll go in Squib. How brave was it that she was killed? Like, come on, she's a loser. Now we have Miranda. Miranda's quite brave and daring, I'd say, so she'll go in Gryffindor. Balon Greyjoy, Slytherin. This guy is obsessed with being the king of the Iron Islands. Bronzion Royce. I'll put him in Hufflepuff. He was very loyal to Lord Aaron and Lord Stark. Seems like a very hardworking, kind man. Brienne of Tarth is like the embodiment of Gryffindor. Ned Stark, he'll also be in Gryffindor. I mean, this guy sacrificed his honor to protect his family, lied to the king who was his best friend to protect his family, and yeah, lied to everyone, telling everyone that he was guilty of treason to protect his family. I feel like that's very Gryffindor-like. This guy, I don't remember what his name was, but the Hound had built the sept with him, and then he was killed by the Brotherhood. This guy was a very nice guy. I don't think he was really a Gryffindor or Slytherin or Ravenclaw. I think of any of these, he's a Hufflepuff. And I'll put him Hufflepuff. He's a very kind man. So, Maester Lewin will go in Ravenclaw because he's a Maester. Tristane Martell. I don't think we really know enough about him, so he'll be a squib. Now we have Jory Castle. Now he was very loyal to Ned Stark, so I guess he'll go in Hufflepuff. I don't know. Aurel. Squib. Arya's a Gryffindor. She's not scared of anything. Marjorie Tyrell is a Slytherin. She wanted to be queen and would do pretty much whatever it took to become queen. Oberyn Martell? I mean, I kind of want to say Slytherin, but that might just be because his nickname is the Red Viper of Dorne. And Slytherin's symbol is a snake. But I feel like he's more of a Gryffindor. You know, he seeks vengeance and is not afraid to fight anyone in order to get that, so I'll put him in Gryffindor. Gren? I think Gren's very hardworking and loyal guy, so he'll go in Hufflepuff. Pip? I guess the same thing. Lysa Arryn. Slytherin. Yeah, cunning, deceptive. Lied to her sister about who killed Jon Arryn when it was actually her who killed her own husband. Dario Naharis. Gryffindor. Osha. Gryffindor as well. She was very brave. Maester. Grand Maester Pycelle. He's the only Maester that, got involved in politics. Or I guess you could say Qyburn did too. But I feel like he wasn't that personally ambitious. So he'll go in Ravenclaw. Catelyn Stark. She was in Gryffindor, I think. Very brave and very fierce when it came to protecting her children. Even though she did make a lot of stupid decisions, I feel like she would be in Gryffindor. Who is this, Lady Swan or something? We just don't know enough about her. She's gonna be a squib. Who is this? Oh, it's Craster. Oh, yeah. I don't think he's that... he's definitely not a Ravenclaw. He's definitely not a Hufflepuff. I'm not sure that he's really that ambitious either. I mean, I feel like he's kind of a coward deep down. I feel like he'd just be a squib. Yeah, sorry. Actually, no, I put him in Slytherin. I think that his self-preservation would put him in Slytherin. Podrick? I feel like Podrick is the just embodiment of Hufflepuff. If anyone's a Hufflepuff, it is Podrick. He's very loyal and just likes to serve. Prince Doran Martell. I feel like he wasn't that brave. He didn't want to go to war ever. He was very conservative and passive. I feel like we, once again, just don't know enough about him. He'll be a squib. I have one of Daenerys' other dragons. This is either Rhaegal or Viserion. And since they're a dragon, they'll go in Gryffindor. Bran Stark. Ravenclaw. I mean, the three-eyed raven. I feel like his whole story is him seeking knowledge, which is very Ravenclaw-like. What was it? Salador Sand, that's his name. He'll be a Slytherin. He wants to. He's a pirate. He likes. He's pretty ambitious. Going out on voyages. He decides to side with Stannis in the Battle of Blackwater in hopes for riches. So, I'll put him in Slytherin. This dude, Oliver. Yeah, he was quite cunning and deceptive, working as a spy for Littlefinger, so he'll go in Slytherin. This lady, what was her name? I forget, but yeah, she lies to Daenerys and says that she can heal Khal Drogo of his wound, and she actually makes it worse so that he dies. So that was pretty cunning of her. I'll put her in Slytherin. Ed Sheeran played a Lannister soldier. Yeah, I don't know enough about him. He's in like one scene, so he'll be a squib. What's this chick's name again? Ilaria Sand. She will go in Slytherin. I don't even need to elaborate on that. Sam is definitely a Ravenclaw. He just reads books all day long and just seeks knowledge. Roz? Yeah, she's a squib. Ygritte is a Gryffindor. Melisandre. George R. R. Martin has said that Melisandre and Varys are the two most misunderstood characters in Game of Thrones. And it's because Melisandre actually thinks that she's doing the right thing. And in the books, she has like one point of view chapter where we see that she actually is a very kind woman. In some ways. I actually will put her in Hufflepuff, because she's very loyal to the Lord of Light. And she puts a lot of dedication towards serving him. And she does have this kindness about her when she spared Davos' son, despite Davos, despising her. Theon Greyjoy. Well, I feel like at the start he's a Slytherin. But then he kind of turns into a squib. And then he kind of turns into a Gryffindor. So, and he does some, pretty daring things, like betraying Robb. And keeping Winterfell despite, Ramsay having more men than him and surrounding the castle when he could have escaped. So I'll put him in Gryffindor. Walder Frey is definitely a Slytherin. Mr. Filch. Alistair Thorne. I think he's very brave, we kind of see his bravery come out during the battle when the wildlings attacked the wall. Dorea, Slytherin. She was cunning and deceptive and pretty much only cared about herself. Gendry is... Gendry's a Gryffindor. No. He was ready to fight. Whenever. Yoren was definitely a Gryffindor. This is like the mountain after he's been turned into like a zombie. Put him in... He's not kind enough to go in Hufflepuff. He'll be a squib. Ilan Payne. Yeah, he's a squib too. Brynden Tully will be a Hufflepuff. Very hardworking and loyal. Dedicated to his family. Okay, Qyburn. I feel like a lot of people would think Qyburn would be in Slytherin because he gets involved in politics and becomes the hand of the Queen to Cersei. But I feel like his main priority in life is his studies and curiosity, so he'll go in Ravenclaw. I think this is Greywind, Rob's wolf. Yep, Gryffindor. Braun is probably my second favorite character in Game of Thrones. He'll go in Slytherin. He starts as just a common-born sellsword, and he just wants to rise as high as he can and be amongst the nobility and be rich and powerful and all this stuff, so he's definitely a Slytherin. Hodor is a Hufflepuff. Now we have the High Sparrow. No, I feel like he wasn't... I feel like a lot of people hate him, obviously, but I feel like he actually believed he was doing the right thing. That being said... Actually, I'll put him in Ravenclaw. I feel like he was quite witty when he had these conversations, like his back and forth with Olenna. He's very knowledgeable about the Faith of the Seven, obviously. He probably reads the book, daily, so I'll put him in Ravenclaw. Jaqen H'ghar is definitely... Ooh. Do I put him in Slytherin? Because taking someone else's face and being in disguise is pretty cunning. But, I'll put him in Gryffindor, why not? Now this is Viserion. Yeah, he'll go in Gryffindor. Now we have Rhaegar. He's Gryffindor as well. I mean, he literally kidnapped a woman who was engaged to another man and started an entire war. Probably because of the prophecy of the prince who was promised. That's pretty brave. Robert Baratheon brave. Gryffindor, because he just loves fighting and won't back down from anyone. The three-eyed raven will go in Ravenclaw. Fittingly. Khal Drogo, Gryffindor, it's not even close. Jon Snow, Gryffindor, not even close. Oh, Corran Halfhand, that's his name. He's going in Gryffindor as well. This guy was just a madman, always out beyond the wall, hunting wildlings and White Walkers and all that sorts of stuff. So, Joffrey is most definitely a Slytherin. If you think Draco Malfoy was bad or whatever, Joffrey's on a whole nother level. This girl, I don't know if her name is said in the show. It might be. I don't know. Feel free to correct me in the comments. But she's one of the children of the forest, and I'll put her in Hufflepuff. She was very loyal and sacrificed herself even. And she's very kind. Kevin Lannister is a Hufflepuff. Very serving and loyal to his brother Tywin. He didn't seek to undermine him, he always did his duty, and yeah, he's a Hufflepuff, definitely. Shireen. I'll put Shireen in Ravenclaw. She's always reading about the histories, and she even taught Davos. She taught a grown man how to read, which is very impressive. Roose Bolton is a Slytherin, most certainly. The Then guy. Yeah, Squib. This guy that works for the Iron Bank of Bravos, he will be Ravenclaw. They're bankers and I don't know, he has to do a lot of math or whatever. Tommen? But Tommen and Hufflepuff. He's a kind young man. Jaime is definitely a Gryffindor. which is fitting since House Lannister's sigil is pretty much the Gryffindor sigil, a gold lion on crimson. I mean, this guy sacrificed his honor to save King's Landing, which was quite impressive. Syrio Forel, also in Gryffindor. Viserys is definitely Slytherin. Yeah, this guy. Self-preservation at its finest. And pure ambition wants to reclaim his father's throne, which he believed was rightfully his. Dantos Hallard is a squib. This guy has like no traits. He's just a useless drunk. Lancel Lannister. I don't think he's that... Actually, he is kind of brave when he becomes a sparrow, I guess. He has to, like, drag these people to court and whatnot, so... Put Lancel in Gryffindor. Why not? Hot Pie. Hot Pie will go in Hufflepuff. Very kind, and I guess he works hard in the kitchen, so that's that. Now we have Tywin Lannister. He's absolutely Slytherin. Very power hungry and cunning and all of it, so he's a Slytherin. Loras Tyrell would be Gryffindor. He's one of probably the best jouster in Game of Thrones, which is pretty courageous. Littlefinger is by far Slytherin. Only cares about himself, is incredibly ambitious, and yeah, I don't really need to elaborate. Locke. Locke is quite a daring individual. I'll put him in Gryffindor. Lyanna Stark. I think she's going in Gryffindor as well. I mean, she willingly ran away with Prince Rhaegar despite being betrothed to Robert Baratheon, which I don't think she should have done, but... And then I don't know, I just feel like in her youth they always talk about how good of a horseback rider she was. I guess that can relate to Gryffindor. So yeah, she'll go in Gryffindor. Mathos Seaworth. I'll go in Hufflepuff. Very loyal to the Lord of Light, and also to Stannis' cause. Dickon Tarly will also go in Hufflepuff, very loyal to his father. Robin Arryn. Yeah, this kid is gonna go in. He's gonna be a squib, I'm sorry. Or should I say Robin Baelish? Meryn Trant. Squib. The Hound is Gryffindor. He'll fight anyone. Lamy. Yeah, sorry buddy, but you're a squib. Roderick Cassell. He was very loyal to the Starks, so he'll go in Hufflepuff. Myrcella. Squib. Tormund Giantsbane. He's definitely a Gryffindor. This guy is crazy. Now, Mad King Aerys. Yeah, he has to go in Slytherin. I mean, if your nickname is the Mad King, like, where else would you go? This is Nymeria, Arya's direwolf. She will go in Gryffindor because she's a wolf. Old Nan. Old Nan will go in Ravenclaw because she's quite knowledgeable in all these ancient stories, I guess. So, there she goes. Olenna Tyrell. I feel like I'll put her in Ravenclaw too because she's very witty and has all these like quick remarks when speaking with people, which gives her the nickname the Queen of Thorns. Piet Pri, Slytherin, stole Daenerys' dragon eggs. It didn't work out for him, but the ambition was definitely there. Rast, that's his name. Rast is a Slytherin. This guy just cares about himself. Not that all Slytherins only care about themselves, but self-preservation is one of the main traits of being a Slytherin. Who is this? This is Lord of Bones? I think so. Yeah, he's a squib, don't know much about him. Mace Tyrell. Mace Tyrell was too pure for this world. He'll be a squib, sorry. Renly is a Slytherin. This guy got the entire Reach and Stormlands on his side to back him to usurp the throne from Joffrey. Despite Stannis being the rightful heir, Renly knew that. He just said, I'll just take it by right of conquest, I don't care. And he also cut off the food supply lines from going from the Reach to King's Landing, which shows some self-preservation and disregard for others. Robb Stark is Gryffindor. Rallied his father's bannermen after his father's imprisonment and went to war at a very young age and was crowned king in the north. Ooh, little Sam. Yeah, he's a baby, so he has to go and squib. The Night King, Slytherin. I'm not even going to explain. Septa Unella will go in. She'll be a squib. You don't know much about her either. Selyse Baratheon. I don't even know. She was just so, like, mentally insane that I don't think she can even go in any of these, so. Sir Pounce is most certainly a Gryffindor. And he's also probably the prince that was promised. So, he's going in Gryffindor. Actually, I'll just put him at the top of Gryffindor because that's how important of a character he is. Ooh, now we have Shay. She'll go in Slytherin. She kinda... In the show, she actually, like, gets feelings for Tyrion, but I feel like she does kinda use him in a way. And then she betrays him by sleeping with his father, and yeah, so she's Slytherin. What was this guy's name? I forget what this guy's name was, but honestly, these scenes that he's in are pretty boring. But from what I gather from it, he's a Slytherin. Who's this? What direwolf is this? This must be Summer. Gryffindor. Stannis Baratheon. Whew. I might put... I feel like... he does try to become king, which shows ambition. But it's because he's actually the rightful king. It's not because he just, like, wants it. Even though I think he does want it. And he's not that focused on self-preservation. Like, when Storm's End was under siege, he made sure everyone ate before he did. Which was a very good thing of him to do. I'll put him in Gryffindor. Stannis. I was contemplating between Gryffindor and Hufflepuff, but Stannis isn't the most kind person, so he is fair though. You know what? And he's very loyal. I'll put him in Hufflepuff. Now we have Talisa. She'll go in Hufflepuff as well. She's very hardworking. She was like a nurse, I guess. And she was very kind. She just wanted to heal people. Channel Slint is a Slytherin. He's a butcher's son who ended up becoming the Lord Commander of the City Watch and Lord of Harrenhal. And he ended up getting sent to the Wall, and when the Wall was under attack by wildlings, he was hiding amongst the supplies, which shows self-preservation. So he's definitely a Slytherin. Mance Rayder. I'll put him in Gryffindor. Very brave, wanted to protect his people, and he didn't even kneel. And he was willingly burned by Stannis because he did not want to surrender, which I feel like is pretty Gryffindor of him. Varys is Slytherin. Very cunning and deceptive. And yeah, sometimes he can be quite cutthroat and cruel. This girl, the waif, I think her name was. If you don't know enough about her, she's gonna be a squib. Waldra? Was her name Waldra? She's one of Walder Frey's daughters, and she ends up marrying Roose Bolton. Don't know enough about her. Ramsay ends up feeding her to his hounds, so she'll go in squib. 1-1 is a Gryffindor, definitely. And he's literally a giant. Jorah Mormont. I don't think he's a Slytherin. I don't think he's a Ravenclaw. I feel like he is a Gryffindor because he did risk, because he was actually spying on Daenerys in the beginning, and if the Dothraki found out about that, he would have been tortured. And then he got the pardon and still served her, which I guess shows some bravery, I guess, I don't know. Sarolzo and Daxos is definitely Slytherin. You know, like he says a million times in the show, he came from nothing and became the richest person, or at least he became king of Karth through pure deception and ambition and cunning. Now we have Gilly. I'll put Gilly in Hufflepuff. Seems like a kind woman and very loyal to Sam. And last but not least, we have Thoros of Myr. He is going in Gryffindor. This guy charged at Pike with his flaming sword and became a legend because of it. So here we go. Here's my list. Quite a lot of Gryffindors. Ravenclaw has the fewest, and then Hufflepuff. Slytherin has a good amount, and there were also a decent amount of squibs. So there we go. If you guys agree or disagree with my list, leave your thoughts in the comments. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.